Sup guys, Phoenix here and welcome back to InfraSpace, or to be exact the fourth episode of my short series, I guess we can call it that, on InfraSpace. Or should I say InfraSpace gameplay. Regardless, this is the closing episode, the last one. Today we are going to finish everything there is to do to make our large colony complete. And this means that we are going to firstly research the few remaining technologies, which will admittedly take some time, given that it costs a lot of resources to produce the necessary red science packs, and even if we do get the resources, it takes 2 minutes to get one of these little things done. And just check out the text, it costs hundreds of those red science packs or whatever. So this will be one thing. The second thing is that we are going to finally finish the spaceship. The few remaining modules are those that require the most advanced resources. Well, I'm about to finish one actually. I only need some more of these resources, which are trickling to the spaceship construction facility. It will take some time, but I will not waste our screen time on this, since all it gets are passive benefits. However, we do want to finish completing the spaceship repairs. Then the next thing which we will do, we're going to do this now, is building the colossal adamantine drill, which is used to mine adamantium. Costs quite some resources, but fortunately I have a shitload of them stocked. So it works kind of similar to the spaceship construction facility, namely we have to connect roads to them. And then we have to supply it with some resources. I'm not sure if I'm producing those high-tech tools or not. Okay, I am. Very small amounts, which will be enough. Sensors will be easy. So I will show you the completion of this thing in just a moment. But in the meantime, I haven't finished saying what we would do today, because there is still one thing left, and that is terraforming. We are going to terraform at least the immediate area of the colony, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so let's get this colossal adamantine drill thing done. Okay guys, so we have almost finished gathering the resources. By the way, check out those weird cranes. What the hell they are doing? They are just moving the same crate over and over again into different places. Think the game developers couldn't be bothered to create an animation of them picking up different crates. But that aside, we have almost finished gathering our resources. Only a few items are left. Alright, we have one more coming. Another, and another. Good. Finally finished. Hey! I don't think that was the deal. Man. That's an unexpected development. What? That's one greedy MF. But okay. So, to make this moment actually worthwhile, I will tell you about a nice little trick or gimmick, namely districts. As you can see, you can manually designate some buildings. You have to pick two groups of buildings, so I went a bit too far. Yeah, this is the second one. So I had a district for delivering high-tech tools there directly. This way you don't have to worry that your stuff is going to get lost somewhere in delivery. Good. The first technology for terraforming is complete. We'll be able to start in a jiffy. Let me see. Yeah, but I don't need this anymore. So we're going to delete this. And then we are going to have this thing. We erase this, we place a new one, then we choose the resource, and there we go. Okay, this will speed up my research a bit by speeding up the production of one of the resources. It's not really apparent here, but delivering this scrap can raise the efficiency of production. As you can see, I still have some here, and it raises speed of production by 50%. Alright, so I'll get this thing done, and in the meantime I will also start getting the terraforming thing done. But what I'm going to show you first will of course be the moment of me actually completing this thing. Okay guys, I have released the floodgates. The last resource is coming in, and I hope that it will really be the last one this time. In the meantime, I have built a heat exchanger factory area, all the necessary buildings to provide relevant resources. Also, by the way, this space shuttle just got bugged here. LOL. Alright, let's see. Okay, I guess it leveled up, but it's not yet ready to actually produce anything. Oh well. Okay, I'll try to get the necessary resources here then. Well, these two won't be an issue. This one, not that much. This one will be a bit tricky. But can be done. Can be done. So anyway, I have made those heat exchangers because we'll need this thing for our first factory that will directly supply terraforming buildings. Well, to be exact, it will supply another factory that will then supply a terraforming building. But there's a small issue. As you can see here, this thing actually costs adamantine to build, and so we have to first complete this building. Alright, so see you soon. Alright guys, here we go, we continue. So as you can see, the colossal adamantine drill has fairly increased in size. Now what we're going to do is to provide the last resource. Yeah, here they go. In a moment we'll have it ready. While they are delivering it, let me mention a few other things quickly. So first of all, you may notice that there are more roads every here and there. I just couldn't be bothered to keep using trains to supply things. The second thing is that I have expanded nuclear power plants because we are going to need two just to power this thing here. Third thing is that I have added one more residential area here because I figured out that I was about to run out of manpower soon. Anyway, so this is the adamantine drill. And we have a little bit of an issue here. As mentioned before, okay, let me see. Where should I plug it in? Okay, this will be a good place. So here we go. Oh wait, there will be an issue here. The tracks here are too wide, so I have to go that way. Alright, let's just delete this one, and go to follow these tracks here first. Then we get across. Nice. Come on. Good. Good. See, exactly 1500. Ooh. That's unexpected. I didn't know that I have to provide resources. Okay. We don't really need it, since this stuff seems to be delivered. Okay, it's not. Then we go back to this. But we'll decrease the storage. Is this sent out? Yeah, seems like it is sent out. Oh, I don't have enough power here for some reason. I think this may be the problem. Okay, in that case, I just connect the two power grids together. Oh, hey. Okay, that was the wrong one. So in that case... Oh, was this the reason? Well, we'll fix it in a moment. Anyway, turns out that we have to use various complicated resources to get this thing and its operations maintained. Well, I suppose I will show it later if there's any animation going on. But even then it seems like... No, I'm not sure. Okay, it's not working without resources. So anyway, I'll get it running and then we will proceed to the next stage, which is terraforming. We're going to make these two factories. First this one to supply this one, and then we'll use them to supply the first terraforming building. By the way, all four terraforming buildings must exist overlapping one area to completely terraform it. Actually, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so there are actually 5. But this one is map wide in its function. But we will see. Haven't ever used it. This terraforming category, so we will see how it works. For now, let me get to work on this. Phew. Alright guys, I had once again one big mess. Well, I'll just show you the names of my recent saves. Utter mess in Right City, I think I fixed it but not sure. Computer crisis shit logistics again. Okay, I think I fixed it now. So this part here, it was a real issue because I had separate roads connecting distribution centers to the highways alongside the 2 or 3 blocks, depending on how you look at it. Well, technically more, but we can see 3 subgroups of buildings, so let's call it that. So first I just put it all together haphazardly and made it come in here, connected to this part that just continued like that. But that led to giant traffic jams, and I just had an equivalent of all these raised highways here just jammed completely with cars that just wouldn't move. And of course the resources wouldn't get delivered and my buildings would downgrade. I would lose population, I would lose workers. It was one giant mess. Alright, so as I found out, it was the first thing I found out was that it's much more efficient to just connect one highway to the whole set of highways surrounding the city instead of trying to make separate connections for separate resources. This is because there would be traffic jams mostly appearing near all those kind of small connecting corners, let's just call it that. So in the end, I found out that I had to micromanage this whole part here, make a network of roads with traffic lights everywhere. I had to micromanage the exact time the traffic light is turning on. For example, here we have 7 seconds going straight and 3 seconds for the guys coming in with green trucks which carry good food. The same I had to do here. Again, we have lights here. Then we have, well, traffic signs here, as you can see. No real need for traffic lights here. And I had to make sure that this road doesn't go here, but just goes around here. Previously, I made it come here and go here, but then traffic jams would be created here. So one way or another, if you want to create a city with such a shape, long and narrow, then there are going to be real issues with logistics, literal logistics hell. But okay, that's enough about this crap. More importantly, we finally have the adamantium drill working. Let's see its animation. As you can see, I have mined, well, it says 75 pieces of adamantium, but it's not accurate because... Oh, really? Good. Because what you can see here is that 75 pieces are what I have in storage. Meanwhile, I have mined more than that because I have already used up some adamantium to create buildings. Namely, I have built my first terraforming factories. So we have a filtering mesh factory, which consumes heat exchangers and neural processors, two things that I have already started producing earlier, which then can be used either in a this filtering mesh can either be used in a terraforming building, which we'll mention soon, or it can be used to produce advanced filtering mesh, which is also used in factories, in terraforming buildings, but I don't think I've built that one yet. Anyway, so for now we have two terraforming buildings, which are two dust particle filters. One is there, one is here. We can see their coverage together like this, those two green circles, part of which overlap. Well, so far I can't really see much difference, but when you take a look here, the sand looks a bit darker in this area compared to this area, right? So this is basically this removed dust to some degree. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is to create the next terraforming building. Alright guys, the terraforming is progressing. I have made two new buildings. First I made a fertilizer drone hub, which requires connection with my fertilizer factories. Excuse me. Oh, I see. It was supposed to be connected here, but somehow I made a connection here, thinking those are the fertilizer farms. Silly of me. Well, it doesn't really matter, frankly speaking. All it did was delay the inevitable, and as long as I have a bunch of resources here, it will last me a long while. And the second building I made is ground acidity regulator. Basically, plants can't grow in soils that is too acid for them, so each plant has its own individual requirements, and this facility takes care of that. So as you can see, we finally have some signs of terraforming. The ground is of a darker shade, a bit more greenish. Oh, you could see now how this part just changed. Or I think it's just rendering on the map, yep. bit by bit. This is the map set. Oh, but it's okay. It's still getting terraformed. And we can see some trees at last. By the way, can we destroy trees with laser? Come on. No? So we can destroy native trees, but not the earth-like trees. Okay. So the map starts to look much better. By the way, I have also moved this thing from here there and placed another one here. So we are halfway done with terraforming. We have still 2 buildings left to build. One will be this one, ammonia extractor. This will make the atmosphere more breathable. And the next one will be a magnetic field generator, which, different from these buildings which have their own radius, will cover the entire map. Oh shit. Seems like I have some logistics issues again. So let's pause the game so that I can swiftly react. Okay, so this thing, I'm not sure if it's changing or if it's just a rendering issue. With all these buildings being made covering most of the map, the FPS is not the best sometimes. Yeah, see, when I accelerate the game, the FPS gets worse. Even though my PC is pretty decent. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. So, we are going to make the 2 terraforming buildings still. Unfortunately, it will take some time. This one I will be able to do pretty soon. I have enough adamantium and I'm about to finish researching the relevant technology. The problem, however, lies with the last building because it is very expensive. 250 adamantium. With just one colossal adamantine drill, it will take me 25 times this. So this is 4 minutes, right? Okay, so it will take me a literal hour. I think I will just leave the game running because I can't be bothered to construct another drill. So I am afraid what will happen here. Oh, okay, it seems like the home appliance got fixed. But still, let's take a look at... there doesn't seem to be any issue beyond those here. Yeah, I have to do some fixing. Yeah, so anyway, we are on the cusp of finishing. Well, we still need to do this, which I forgot so far in this episode. But it doesn't really matter. I think I'll just finish it after I'm done terraforming. Or actually, I'll probably do this building. And then while I wait for this to become available for construction, both resource-wise and research-wise, I will do those spaceship models. Anyway, it looks much nicer now, much greener. So I look forward to the final result of terraforming. See you in a moment. Alright guys, we are on the next stage of terraforming, which you can see by the fact that it's gone pretty green around here, finally. Well, this is in part because of the ammonia extractor, the 4th terraforming building that we have built here, which is quite the coverage. And interestingly, it allows for trees and some low-growing shrub or tall grass to grow outside the range of... what was it called again? Yes, that's particle filter. So basically it seems like grass isn't really growing too well without one, because my dust particle filters don't cover this part, and you can see a clear difference in the greenery here. So anyway, we have more trees here and there, especially in this area, some here. Pity that nothing is growing in the canyon, would be more interesting that way. but oh well. So that's one thing. We are only left with the last terraforming building, for which we need the last technology, which I'm in the progress of researching, and we also need more adamantine. Oh, I don't have enough science to get more. I'll have to fix it in a moment. Anyway, as I said, it will take quite a while to finish the last building because it costs 250 adamantine. I have only half of that right now. So I will probably leave the game running in the background for some 15 minutes and let it mine or extract all the resources necessary, or research, whatever. Anyway, one more thing that I have done is finally fixing the goddamn traffic flow issues here. What I've done is basically I lost my patience with those stupid distribution centers and I minimized their coverage, trying to cover only this area. Unfortunately, it wasn't fully successful, and depending on the distribution center, it more or less covers part of this area, while making a new set of distribution centers dedicated to this area only. Well, as I said, there's some overlap, unfortunately, but I minimized it. So some vehicles from these distribution centers are still going there. You can see some passing by here every now and then. It's them. So thanks to this and thanks to making this part of highway anew, I finally got rid of the goddamn traffic issues. So basically the keys to this were micromanaging the lanes. You can see this thing, it shows which lanes can be used to get where. Also micromanaging traffic lights and making sure there's enough distance between each set of traffic lights. And of course this part here was also instrumental. Well, in the future I can share about the specifics of micromanaging such things in separate videos, but it's only if a lot of people playing this game want such a thing. Otherwise I won't really bother, because it's not this kind of series that we would go into details of various things in right now. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this moment. I will leave the game running for a bit. I will get all those various resources and research necessary to get to the next stage, and then we will proceed to the said next stage. Alright guys, this is the last part. We are done, we are finished. First, we have the fifth, the final terraforming building, which is magnetic field generator. It cost a ton of resources because, just like in the case of colossal adamantine drill, what we had here was a construction zone, and we had to keep delivering resources to build this thing in stages. Other than that, it also takes a whole 200 workers to operate and a whole 5,000 units of power, I think those are megawatts, right? To maintain the operation of. Quite a lot. Speaking of power, as you can see here, I have expanded my nuclear power plants, and in one place here I have made a fast neutron reactor just because I haven't built any so far. So that's one thing. The other thing is that the spaceship was finally repaired. Well, what happened next after I finished the last part was quite underwhelming. I will spare you the spoilers. It will be boring if I just expose everything. But I wasn't particularly impressed, to be frank. If I got it right, this game won't get any more updates, or at least none are planned at this moment. Which is a pity, but okay, whatever. So, the most important part of the map is terraformed. I could still terraform it whole, but it will take too much time. I don't have that much time. Alright, so now let's take a look at the fruit of terraforming, but before we do so, one last interesting detail. Check this out. We have a copper deposit here, and we have a native plant here. And now check out this copper deposit here, and this plant here. Native trees got terraformed, lol. Funny. Alright, so regarding the terraforming, I want to first show you the riverbed. As you can see, there are actually some trees growing here, which is unexpected. They weren't showing up here at first. Well, because also you have a bunch of native plants that are still growing here and there. Alright, and now let's take a quick look at the terrain from the perspective of a train. I will just keep slowly going. We will get some train passing by. And in the meantime, let me say goodbye, because as I said, this is the last part of the series, the last part of this video. So I am going to record some other game next time. That isn't to say that I will never record InfraSpace again, because I will be happy to if enough people want to see it again. For example, if you want to see me build something specific and explain how something specific works, there's no problem with that. I can do that. And I can also do something else than I have done so far. For example, we can terraform the whole map next time. And we can also do a colony in an even trickier area, such as a mountain. I could also use this mountain here with those terrace-like areas. I think it would be quite interesting to make a city on those, should I call them, hills, and on the mountain peaks as well. I think it would be quite interesting to make a large city like this. Though, to be frank, it would probably be a logistics nightmare for me. But as long as enough people want it, I am up for it. Alright, so now to conclude, let's take a look at the colony itself, what it looks like from the ground level. We have all those buildings, the highways, well, technically super highways, some support buildings for logistics and various resources. We also have those cars driving around everywhere. Of course, we have the trains nearby. It looks quite nice, if I say so myself. Yeah, so it was quite fun making this video. However, it took me ages, literal ages. I don't have that much time to play games. All the time I have to play games, I spend recording something. So while it's fun, it's also quite a lot of work. I think I spent like 2-3 weeks recording this in my spare time, of course. And that also means that I recorded outside of Sundays as an exception for this series, because it was just that time and labor intensive. Alright guys, so as I said, I can make more on this game if enough people are interested, but for now that's enough. We are done. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next game.